Welcome back to Statistics chapter. Here we have 14.1 third problem. The following distribution shows the daily pocket allowance of children of a locality. The mean pocket allowance is 18 rupees. Find the missing frequency F. A daily pocket allowance and number of children they have given as 2 rows, 11 to 13 rupees, 7 children, 13 to 15 rupees, 6 children, 15 to 17 rupees, 9 children, 19 to 17 to 19 rupees, 13 children, 19 to 21 rupees, F children, 21 to 23 rupees, 5 children, 23 to 25 rupees, 4 children. In this way, we have the daily allowances in rupees for these children. Here, among these children, for 19 rupees to 21 rupees, the number of children are not given. That is what we need to find from this problem in the form of F. To that, here we have the solution. Please check it. Here, the data what he has given in rows, we are writing as distribution table. So, to that, here, the daily pocket allowances we are taking as the class intervals. The class intervals are 11 to 13, 13 to 15, 15 to 17, 17 to 19, 19 to 21, 21 to 23, 23 to 25. These are the class marks of daily pocket allowances. We are taking these things as class intervals. Then number of children we are taking as frequencies to find the solution. 11 to 13 rupees, 7 children, 13 to 15 rupees daily allowances, 6 children are maintaining, 15 to 17 rupees, 9 children, 17 to 19 rupees, 13 children are maintaining, 19 to 21 rupees, how many children are being maintained? These 19 to 21 we have to find. Then 21 to 23, 5 children, 23 to 25, 4 children. So here we have the class intervals and the frequencies. By using these things, we have to find the number of children for 19 to 21 rupees. Data is in small size. There is no problem. We can find the F mark by using the direct, direct mean method. But I wanted to give you more practice and more idea regarding the step deviation method. That is why here I am choosing the step deviation method for this data too. So to that, the first step, we need to find the class mark for the class intervals. So the first class here, 11 to 13, so the first class here 11 to 13. So to find the midpoint of the class, take the lower boundary and upper boundary of the class and find the average of the lower boundary and upper boundary. By that we will get the class midpoint for the first class. That is 24 by 12, which is equals to 12 is the first class midpoint or class mark. Similarly, go for the next class, that is 13 plus 15. 13 plus 15 by 2 is the formula for finding the midpoint of the 13, 15. So which is equals to 28 by 2, which is equals to 14. 14 is the midpoint for second class 13 and 15. So we are writing the 14 as the second class mark. Similarly, here we are finding the 15, 17 class mark. 15, 17 class mark by using the same formula. So that is 32 by 2, which is equals to 16, which is equals to 16. 16 is the next class midpoint or class mark 16 for 15 and 17. Then the remaining 3 class marks to we are finding here. Please observe. Then next one, 17 plus 19, which is equals to 36 by 2, which is equals to 36 by 2 is equals to 18. 18 is the next class midpoint. Or we are writing as class mark for the class 17 and 19. Then the next class 19 and 21. 19 and 21. Finding the average for that one. 19, 21, which is equals to 40 by 2, which is equals to 20. 20 is the midpoint for 19 and 21. We are writing the 20 as the class mark for the 19 and 21. Then next one, 21 and 23 by 2 for the next class, which is equals to 44 by 2. Finally, we will get here 22 as the class mark for the 21 and 23. Then the final class, that is 23 and 25. 23 and 25 by 2, which is equals to 48 by 2. Finally, we will get here 24 as the midpoint of the 23 and 25. We are writing the 24 as the class mark. Like that, we have found the midpoints for these classes, and we are writing the midpoints as class marks for these classes. So 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 are the midpoints of the classes or class marks of the classes. And next, here as I have told you, data is in small size, but I'm going for step deviation method. To that step deviation method, the deviation is required. Okay, to find the deviation, one assumed mean is required. That is why I'm taking the 18 as the assumed mean. If you observe the frequencies, so among all these frequencies, F is the unknown one, but 13 is the maximum frequency. That's why I'm taking the 18 as the assumed mean. By using this assumed mean, here we are finding the deviations. How we have to find the deviation? By using the assumed mean. Please observe here. Okay. So here we have the formula for deviation. Deviation di is equals to class mark xi minus assumed mean. This is the formula to find the deviation of each and every class from the assumed mean. So the first class here, 12 is the class mark and assumed mean is 18. So the deviation between these two is minus 6. Here we have written the minus 6 as the first class deviation. Then we are going to the second class, that is minus 4, I'm sorry, 14 minus, the assumed mean is 18, 14 minus 18, 14 is the second class, mark or midpoint, the 14 and 18 is the assumed mean. Between them we are finding the deviation. 14 minus 18 is equals to minus 4. From the 18 the deviation is minus 4. Then the next class deviation, that is 16 minus 18, which is 16 minus 18, which is equals to minus 2. Minus 2 is the next class deviation. Then the next one, 18 minus 18 is equals to 0. 0 is the next class deviation. Then 20 minus 18 is equals to 2. This is the next class deviation. So nothing to find the class deviation from the class mark. If you subtract that assumed mean, then we will get the deviation between them. Then 22 minus 18, which is equals to 4, is the deviation of 22 and 18. Then the next one, 24 minus 18, which is equals to 6, is the deviation between the 24 and 18. I'm sorry, 18. Like that we have found the deviation for all the classes. The deviations are in this way: minus 6, minus 4, minus 2, 0, 2, 4, 6. So if you observe the deviations in class marks and classes, data is reduced somewhat. So I want to reduce this data little more. That's why I'm using the step deviation method also. Sorry. Step deviation method. So to reduce the data little more, I'm using the step deviation method, that is ui is equals to di by height h. Here h is the height of the class and di is the deviation between the class and assumed mean. So by calculating these two things, we will get the step deviation, which is equals to, first, what is height of the class? Please observe here. Height of the class is equals to the difference between the class intervals. Here the first class interval 11, 13. The difference between these two class interval, these two boundaries is 2. Then the next class intervals 13, 15. The difference between the boundaries is equals to 2. Like that, if you observe all these classes, the difference between the boundaries is equals to 2. That's why width of the class we are taking as 2, or height of the class we are taking as 2. So height of the class is equals to 2. H is equals to 2. Here we got the di value, h value. By using those two values for each and every class, we are going to find the step deviation. The first class step deviation, di value is minus 6 and the height of the class is 2, which is equals to minus 3. This is the first class step deviation, that is minus 3. Then the second class minus 4 by 2, which is equals to minus 2. Then the next class minus 2 by 2, which is equals to 1. Then the next class 0 by 2, which is equals to 0. Here minus 3 is the first class step deviation. By calculating 6 minus 6 and 2 minus 4 and 2, if we calculate, then we will get the minus 2 is the next class step deviation. The next class step deviation we observed here as minus 1 by calculating minus 2 and 2. Then the next class step deviation 0 by 2 is equals to 0. So like that, here we have found the sum of the classes deviation. The further classes 2 we can observe here. And next class deviation 2 by 2, which is equals to 1. Then the next class deviation 4 by 2, which is equals to 2. Which is equals to 2. Then the last class deviation 6 by 2, which is equals to 3. Here the next class deviation step deviation is 1. The next class step deviation is 2. The next class step deviation is 3. Like that, here we have found the step deviation for the all the classes. If we observe all these step deviations, here the data is reduced little more. Like that, here by the deviations and step deviation, we can reduce the data in smaller size. That is very easy to us to find the solution. Then after finding the step deviation values here, we go for the solution. In the part of the solution, we need the Fi and Ui value. That is why we are finding the Fi and Ui value by multiplying the Fi and Ui values. The Fi value is 7, Ui value is minus 3. 7 into minus 3 is equals to minus 21. Then the next one, 6 into minus 2 is equals to minus 12. 9 into minus 1 is equals to minus 9. 13 into 0 is equals to 0. F into 1 is equals to F. 5 into 2 is equals to 10. 4 into 3 is equals to 12. Like that, here we have found the Fi and Ui values. After getting the Fi and Ui values, here we have to take the sum of the Fi and Ui values. The sum of all these values is equal to minus 20 plus F, which means sigma Fi Ui is equals to minus 20 plus F. After finding the Fi Ui sum, we have to find the frequencies sum. The sum of the frequency sigma Fi is equals to, if we add all these things, we will get here 44 plus F. Then after, we have to substitute all these values in the step deviation formula. By that, we will get the F value. How to solve that one? Please observe here. Here, the formula for the step deviation, x bar is equals to a plus sigma Fi Ui by sigma Fi into H. Okay, here sigma Fi Ui value we got here, and sigma Fi value also we got here, and height of the class 2 we have found here. Assumed mean 2 we have taken here. So the mean of the daily allowance is given as 18. By substituting all these values, we will get the final solution, that is F value. So x bar, which is the mean of the daily allowance, 18. Assumed mean 18. We have taken the assumed mean as 18, and sigma Fi Ui value here minus 40. Minus 20 plus F. is the Fi Ui value. Then the next one, sigma Fi value. Sigma Fi value is 44 plus F. Then height of the class we observed as 2. Then in the simplification process, if we transpose the 18 to LHS side, we will get here 0. So I'll show that one too. LHS side, if we transpose 18 minus 18, which is equals to 0, that is equals to minus 20 plus minus 20 plus F by 44 plus F plus F into 2. Okay, so 18 minus 18 is equals to 0, is equals to minus 20 into, sorry, minus 20 plus F by 44 plus F into 2. So like that, here we are simplifying the problem. So in the simplification we need further more steps. That is why I reduced that one. Please try to understand. So here we are transposing the 44 plus F and 2 to LHS side. By that we will get here 0 into 44 plus F. Those who are having a doubt, please observe this one. The 44 is in denominator. So while transposing, the denominator will be set as the numerator. And 2 is in numerator position. If we transpose that one to LHS side, it will come to the denominator position. So here after transposing, we are getting here 20 plus F, minus 20 plus F. 0 into something by something, which is equals to 0, which is equals to minus 20 plus minus 20 plus F. So minus 20 plus F. Finally, again if you transpose the minus 20 LHS side, then we are getting here 20 is equals to F. Finally, we are getting the F value as 20. F value as 20. So in that way, we have found the F value as 20. Very easy problem. Nothing we have here. If we substitute the values in the particular formula, then we will get the F value. So F value is here 20, which means 19 rupees to 21 rupees. Okay, the daily allowance 20 children are maintaining. That's it about the 14.1 third problem solution. Here problem is very important problem for the 10th class board examination. Most of the different questions, which means the questions which are not regular, these questions will be given as the question paper questions. That is why you children please take serious practice in such type of problems. So that's it. If you like this video, click the like button, share the video to your friends, those who needs this problem, and subscribe my channel. Your subscriptions are boosting to me to post the further videos as well as the chapters. Thank you.